Hello everybody, Tim Teacher here this week with another reading from our novel Obi, Gerbil on the Loose. Here is Obi, the Gerbil. In the past we learned many things in reading our book. We learned that Obi is named after Obi-Wan Kenobi, the great Jedi Master. That was very nice. Obi is a girl, but she's still okay with the name because it's such a great name. Obi's master or owner, right? Obi is a pet, is Rachel, right? In the family, there is also Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong, Rachel's mother and father. Then there is Rachel's brother, Craig. Then there's a set of twins, right? Betsy and Susie. There's also three, Obi says, rather evil cats. They're probably not really evil, but being a gerbil, Obi probably doesn't like cats. And then there's one dog, right? An old yellow Labrador named Mac. What else did we learn? We learned that the Armstrong family had a secret. We didn't know what it was to begin with, but then we learned they're going to take a trip, right? Sweetie Smoochkins, the cat, one of the cats, knew the secret, but would not tell Obi, right? So Obi is going to ask Mac what the secret is, or where they're going on their trip. We also saw before that Rachel was supposed to be packing for the trip, getting her clothes ready, but she was more concerned with the music that they were going to listen to on their trip. Today we're reading chapter 5 called A Two-Step Process, and you can see it here, right? The two-step process. Actually, getting Rachel to take Obi out of her apartment wasn't quite as difficult as you might think. That's because during the time she'd been Rachel's pet, Obi had devised a rather clever method of getting Rachel to put her into her gerbil-mobile. It consisted of a two-step process that involved 1, Obi's exercise wheel, and 2, the front bars of Obi's apartment. And if you'll read, last time we learned that to ask Mac about the trip, there was a problem. Do you remember what the problem was? Mac lived downstairs usually, and Obi needed to get there to be able to ask Mac the question. So that's what we're learning now, how Obi can get out of her cage. As luck would have it, just at that moment, the twins, Betsy and Susie, came bursting into the room, squabbling, all angry at each other, because they both wanted to use the same pink duffel bag, and neither one would let the other use it. Like so many Armstrong squabbles, Obi could not understand what all the fuss was about. Who cared which one got the pink duffel bag? They should be excited. After all, they were about to go on a trip, a big trip. Stop fighting, or neither one of you will get to use that bag, said Mrs. Armstrong. Then, turning to Rachel, she said, We're pretty much finished here. I'm going to go help the twins pack. Daddy will put your bag in the car. Before you do anything, though, I want you to make your bed, okay? Okay, replied Rachel. As Mrs. Armstrong got up to leave with the twins, Obi slipped down her tube to her living room. She hurried through the deep drifts of cedar shavings to her exercise wheel. Just as she was about to jump onto the exercise wheel and put step 1 into effect, Obi happened to glance over at Rachel, who was now alone in the room. Startled, Obi stopped and stared. Rachel was not making her bed, the way her mother had asked her to. No, she had picked up her music CDs off the floor and was now heading out the door with them. Mom! Cried Obi. Mom, wait! Don't go! For Obi's plan to work, she needed Rachel to stay in her bedroom. Frantic, the little gerbil hopped onto her exercise wheel and began to run. No, not run, sprint! Her legs flew. This, in turn, caused her exercise wheel to spin and squeak like crazy. Squeak, 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 squeak. Step 1, as usual, worked like a charm. Hearing the squeaky exercise wheel, Rachel stopped, turned, and gazed at Obi. Now that she had her adopted mother's attention, it was time for step 2. Obi leaped off her exercise wheel, dashed over to the front of her apartment, opened her mouth, and began to gnaw on one of the metal bars. Stop it, Ob, Rachel cried, a worried expression on her face, just as Obi had hoped. You know how I hate when you do that. You'll break a tooth." But Obie kept right on gnawing. She wanted Rachel to think she was restless and desperately needed to get some exercise in her gerbil-mobile. "Tell you what," said Rachel, as she came back to the dresser, "I'll put you in your gerbil-mobile. How about that?" That, of course, sounded fantastic to Obie. The front of Obie's apartment had a small square door that, like the rest of the walls of her living room, was made of bars. Rachel pulled open the door, reached in, and took Obie out. She placed Obie in the gerbil-mobile and closed the hatch door. Then Rachel came downstairs, carrying her music CDs in one hand and Obie inside the gerbil-mobile in the other. When Rachel entered the kitchen, all three cats, Sugar Smacks, Honey Buns, and Sweetie Smoochkins, rushed over. Meowing, the cats rubbed their furry sides against Rachel's legs. Rachel, who was not a cat person, thank goodness, just ignored them. She went over to the round kitchen table and set her music CDs on the blue and white checkered tablecloth. Suddenly, from upstairs, there came a shout from Mrs. Armstrong. "Rachel, where are you?" "Downstairs," Rachel called back. "What are you doing downstairs? I thought I asked you to make your bed. Now get up here and do it this instant." Okay, said Rachel. Quickly, she left the kitchen and started up the stairs, still carrying the gerbil-mobile. "Hey, what about me?" cried Obie in alarm. "You forgot to put me down, Mom." Of course, Rachel, being human, could not understand a single one of Obie's squeaks. Desperate, Obie broke into a furious run inside her globe. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It worked. Rachel heard the gerbil's small claws clicking and scratching against the plastic interior of the globe, and she glanced down at Obie. "Oh," said Rachel, with a look of surprise, as if she had totally forgotten she was still carrying Obie. "Oops, sorry, Ob. Guess I forgot about you." Rachel came back downstairs and set the gerbil-mobile on the front hallway floor. The moment the plastic globe touched the green carpet, off Obie went in the direction of the TV room. Remember who she's going to go see in the TV room? Who is she looking for, Obie? She's looking for Mac, right? And do you remember why she's looking for Mac? Right? To find out about the trip. Right? To find out about the trip. I hope you enjoyed the reading this week. I enjoyed reading with you again. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.